Welcome to PrairieFoxSurvival.com. I'm Richard, and today we're going to be cooking a wild pig ham. And this is my first experience with wild pig. I've dealt with hams before, but what we're going to do is we're going to make this video and make it as short as possible for you. You can come to our website at PrairieFoxSurvival.com, and you can click onto this and we'll have the full recipe from the brine to how to cook it and what you need to do, even if you want to do a rub on it or a glaze. So with that said, here's the ham that we're going to be cooking. A beautiful chunk of meat. I'm really looking forward to this. And what you want to do first is you want to make your brine, and you want to soak the ham in the brine anywhere from 12 to 24 hours. And this is not my recipe, so I'm going to read it off to you, but you can get it from our website. 4 cups of kosher salt or 2 cups of table salt. 3 cups packed dark brown sugar or light brown. 2 heads of garlic cloves separated, lightly crushed and peeled. 10 bay leaves, and 1/2 cup of whole black peppercorns crushed. And in holding this up, I think you can see the black in that where the peppercorn was sticking to it. Now, what you want to do after soaking this one's soaked for about 15 hours. And what you want to do after soaking it, as I say, is take it out of the brine, rinse it real good under the water and pat it dry. Then put it in a pan and let it get up to about room temperature, approximately an hour. You want to weigh your ham, know the poundage on it, and for baking it, you want to figure about 35 minutes per pound. And so if this one was, say, 10 pounds, you know, it's easy to figure. And at that, we're going to sign off here. Let this get up to room temperature, and then we're going to show you what we're going to do to get it ready to bake. We've let the ham set in a little over an hour to get it up to room temperature, and we're getting ready to put it in the oven. Now what we're going to do is we're going to start our oven at 500 degrees. Everybody says cook at 325, but I say start it at 450 to 500 and sear the roast all the way around, and then reduce your heat down to, some people like to cook at 350, around 325. The one thing you want to do is make sure you have a meat thermometer, and once this reaches 155 degrees, you can take it out, let it cool, and with a piece of foil over it, it will go ahead and reach the interior temperature of 160, which is what you want to be safe. Be sure, like with this one, if you have a bone in it, that you don't get your meat thermometer on the bone, because you won't get a true reading from there. So we're gonna just start searing this in right now, and we'll get back to you after we get it seared in and get it started cooking. Alright, this one cooked for 5 hours, and we did go ahead and cut the fat off of it. Of course, on a wild pig like this, you're not going to have all the fat, like a 1/2 inch of it, that you do when you buy some of them out of the store with the rind and all that on a domestic pig, because of course their diets are different. They eat healthier and they don't have all the hormones and steroids and all this injected into them. And another thing you're not dealing with is a lot of them will inject up to 15 to 20% if they can water that you're paying for, and you don't have any of this in a wild pig. So we're gonna glaze this one, and we're gonna use a pineapple glaze. Okay, and in this, if you can see it, we mixed up 1/4 cup of pineapple juice, 1/4 cup of honey, and 1/4 cup of brown sugar. And then heated it up just a little bit, and we're gonna go ahead and glaze this puppy out with this. And looks like that's going to be some good eating. And really, the glazing process, there's many ways. A lot of people use mustard. There's a jalapeno mustard my son was telling me about that he uses that is supposed to be excellent. I have to try that on the next one. But there's just many recipes you can use. A lot of them grandma's old recipes, and a lot of them just people playing around and seeing what they come up with. And then we are going to place this back in the oven at 350 degrees and for about anywhere from, it depends, 15 to 25 minutes. Now we're going to decorate this one up to give it a little flavor here. And we're going to use some toothpicks to put our pineapples on it. And a lot of people really like it to look pretty. I'm going more for the taste. And they'll put a cherry in the middle of the pineapple and all that. But I'm not going to go to all that trouble. Alright, we got that. I'm going to put a little bit of juice here just on the pineapples. I was telling my wife as much cooking as we've been doing, especially with these 2 deer and 2 wild pigs and all that, that she should give me a name, kind of like some of these great chefs have, like the Galloping Gourmet or something like that. And of course I get no respect around here, so she decided that she could fix me up real quick with that. And my name would be the Grumpy Old Geezer, so I guess I just dropped that one completely. Well, folks, can you see that, Danny? Okay. Well, we're fixing to set this into the oven, and we're going to get the glaze, and of course it's brown already because of the wild pig, but it will turn kind of a shiny brown. And we'll be back to you in just a few minutes here. Okay, the ham's complete now, and it's been glazed, and it really looks like it's going to be some good eating here. I'm looking forward to digging into some of it. Now, one thing I didn't tell you earlier that I would like to bring up, especially with a wild pig, when you're doing a ham or roast or anything like that, a lot of people will tell you don't add any water to your pan in the bottom when you're cooking it, but in a wild pig you almost have to, because you don't have all the juices that they injected into it. And you will get an excellent gravy. If you can zoom in on that, Danny, you will get an excellent gravy off the top. And we'll whip that up this evening and make a meal out of it. Well, let's just, real quick here, let's try cutting off a piece and see what we get. Okay, can you see that, Danny? Mm-hmm. We've got a great color inside, and it looks like it's just going to taste excellent. And we will be carving it off the bone. And part of this we will go ahead and can later on. So if you ever get a chance to cook up a wild hog, I fully suggest you do it. Roast is the same way, from your venisons and all that, if you're cooking them wild. And so I want to thank you for coming by, and from prairiefoxsurvival.com, look forward to seeing you the next time.